Well, today we're going to be talking about email marketing, specifically helping you with some tips on just what works with email marketing and what may not work as well from what I found and from what other research has found. And so first, we'll dive into a brief overview. So the first topic we'll be talking about is email marketing software and the importance of it. And then we'll talk about building an email list, how to gain more contacts. And third, we'll be talking about the actual content of your email. So this will go over subject line, written content, and image content. And then lastly, we'll go over some best practices / a little bit of extra tips. Okay, and then first, our email marketing software. And so I did want to say that I would, for anybody that's looking to start with email marketing, I would highly recommend some sort of software to do this. It's not impossible, but it's really hard to do it through your personal email or business email. And also email marketing software offers a whole bunch of different things like templates, and they also comply with anti-spam software. Yeah, just a lot of great features of email marketing software. So I definitely think it's worth the investment. And the email marketing software that we use here at LocalView is Constant Contact. And so this is one I wanted to highlight. And it's really great for someone. It's really user-friendly. It's really great for people that may not know as much about email marketing and are looking to get into it. It's really easy to use. And it actually has over 200 templates, which when I was doing my research, I found that that's actually Constant Contact has more templates than any other software, which is cool. And it's also, one thing I love about this software, and other email marketing software has it as well, is it has really good automations. So what I mean by this is if you've ever signed up for an email list and then about 10 minutes later you get a welcome email, that's because that was an automation. And so basically when you signed up for the email, on the website or whatever it was, it then goes into the software and then will fire off an email that is already created to you. And Constant Contact also does have good AI integration. So that is helpful with your specifically written and image content and your subject lines as well, but really written content. And just to give a little plug, we at LocalView are a Constant Contact reseller, which basically means we can offer Constant Contact to you at a lower price than if you were to just go buy it right now off the internet. Yeah, and then if you're already a LocalView client, it's also it integrates in with your business app dashboard. And so it's super easy to figure out to use. Okay, and then next we'll go over how to build your email list, especially if you're starting from scratch. And so this is mainly how to build it with online tools. And so there's 3 different ways that are the big ones to help build your email marketing list from scratch. And so first thing is add basically a subscribe to our email list box in the footer of your website. So here is Chipotle's website, this top image. And right here this is their subscribe to their email where it says get rewarded. And one thing I do want to note about this, and you'll see this throughout all of email marketing, is always offer some sort of incentive, whether that's here it's like experience more about Chipotle and get rewards or discounts, or it's learn more about our business, just something like that. Basically entices people to give you their email. And then next, you could also add a pop-up to your homepage. And so you've probably seen this, especially if you're shopping on an e-commerce website, where it basically pops up and it's like, welcome to our website, get 10% off your first order if you enter your email here. And so with that, you are opting into the email marketing list. And then Costco has, I cropped this, but Costco has this one in the corner here, which I liked a lot, where it's not super in your face. Yeah, there's just many different types of pop-ups. And then if you have an e-commerce website, you can add an opt-in button at checkout. So this is Jack Watley Discus, which is one of our clients. And then they have this it's kind of hard to read, it's small. They have this sign me up to receive marketing emails already checked when you go to checkout. And if you're not an e-commerce website and you have like a scheduling system, that basically anything you have that collects emails, you can always add the opt-in to receive marketing emails in that form. And so now we'll be talking about the meat of it, so the email content. This is the first thing we're going to talk about here is subject lines. And subject lines, in my opinion, are the most important part of your email because they are your first impression of your email. So I bet there's been many times where you've gotten an email from some organization and you clicked on it because it had an enticing subject line. And so that's what we're here to share, is how do you get people, that's the point of the subject line, is how do you get people to click on your email? And so first, obviously, you want to grab their attention. But I think it's important to note you want to grab their attention without spoiling what is in the email. So you want to spur some curiosity in the reader. And yeah, there's also, so there's the subject line, which if you're looking at your email, there's the bold text that you automatically see first. And then beside that, there's what's called a pre-header, which is basically a little snippet of either the email content, or you can make it up as well. I know with Constant Contact, you can do it. Some other, like if you're sending an email with your personal email, it's not going to have you're not going to be able to make a pre-header. It'll just have whatever the content is inside the email. But that little snippet of pre-header can give a little bit more about what's inside the email. So for example, I did our Local View monthly newsletter, and we normally highlight some sort of service and then some sort of whatever's going on with Local View. And so if we're highlighting email marketing, I put that in the pre-header. I would put new employee, and then I put something else, whatever else we're highlighting. And then with subject lines, I also wanted to mention there's some things that, because of anti-spam software and laws in the US, there are some things that may put your email into spam. And so using all caps in subject lines is not a good, that is one of the things that will very, very likely put your email in spam. And then using punctuation also has a tendency to put your email in spam, especially if it's exclamation points. And I would also recommend using under 10 words. Super long ones will put your emails in spam. But if you use under 10 words, it's more likely to show up in the subject line, all of your text, or at least the meat of it, instead of not being able to see the whole thing, because of course you want to get your message across. And secondly, about subject lines, Constant Contact has this feature. It's really cool. It's cool to see the data of this, but it's called A/B testing. And so essentially what this means is you can send two different versions of a subject line to a small pool of your contact list before actually sending the whole email out to the rest of the contact list. So for example, if I had subject line A, summer sale for shoes, and I had subject line B, 10% off shoes until June or something like that, I could basically send those two subject lines to two different sample groups. And normally it's anywhere between, depending on how big your contact list is, it's between 20 to 40% of your contacts, which is not all of them. So it'll send those. And then after 48 hours, it'll see which one had more opens. And then the testing will then send the subject line with the most opens to the rest of your email list. So yeah, pretty cool feature that I know Constant Contact offers, and MailChimp does as well, and a lot of other marketing software, email marketing software. So next, written content. This is kind of the bread and butter. It's your story of your email. And so first, you want to convey, what do you want the reader to know? What is the most important for them to know? And so one thing I do like to note is you don't want to wait until the end of your email to put the juicy part of the email. You want to do it first, because with your subject line, the reader is clicking into your email for that answer. So you're going to kind of want to put that first, just as people do in journalism. When you see a enticing title, you're going to want to just find that information rather than reading all the fluff that goes before it. Same thing with email marketing. And yeah, secondly, you're going to want to say what the purpose of this email is. So once you get your point across, then go into more detail about it. And you always want to explain the product or service before you offer the discount. So moving into the next part, you don't want to put your CTA first. You always want to put it after you explain what it is. And so what a CTA is a call to action. And this can look like a button, a clickable link, a clickable email address, or a clickable phone number. And we'll go over a little more of that in the part about the images. And the last part of the written content, so consider the longevity of email marketing. And what I mean by that is you don't have to explain your entire business in one email. So the cool thing about email marketing versus other forms of marketing is people have to go out of their way to sign up and give you your email for email marketing. So what that means is many of your contacts will likely stay subscribed for months or even years. So you have more time to get across your message, which is one of the blessings of email marketing. And so my recommendation, what statistics show is, excuse me, a frog my throat, is use around 50 to 150 words. You will get more clicks from your email. And then if you use less than 50 or more than 150, you'll yield a lower response rate. And so next part of our email content is images. And so text isn't the only thing you email with the capability to tell a story, and images can help convey this as well. And one thing I would highly stress is always add clickable links to your images, because most people will actually click on the image to get to a link rather than a button or a text link in an email, which is pretty interesting, but it makes sense because an image is such a big part of an email. And then with that, I would say always add alt text. And so that's because your emails have probably done this when someone outside your organization, or you get an email from someone for the first time. It won't automatically load the text. You have to say, yes, I trust this email. And so always add that alt text, just in case someone can't load the images, they'll still get the story. And then make sure with all of your emails that you ensure mobile friendliness. And what that means is most of the time with your emails, you're going to want your images to be a little bit smaller in pixels, because they need to be both mobile friendly and desktop friendly. Because it's about 50-50 on where people open emails. Yeah, it favors a little bit towards mobile, but not significantly towards mobile. And yeah, with that mobile friendliness, one way you can test it is before you blast out the email to all your contacts, just send it to yourself first. Make sure to click on all the images and all the links to make sure they work, and then check for grammatical errors. You can always send a test email with pretty much any email marketing software. And then lastly, we'll go over our best practices. So just a little bit of general tips and then some ethical practices. And so firstly, I talked about this a little bit in the beginning, but in order for your email to get into someone's inbox, you will need to comply with anti-spam laws. So the four tasks, the four things that make up the anti-spam law that you need to be aware of are: you have to provide an option to unsubscribe. And then with all email marketing software, they automatically add this in, so you don't have to go out of your way to add that link. And then you'll also need to add your address at the bottom of your email, even if you are a virtual business. And then you also need to make sure that your subject line doesn't promise anything your email doesn't offer. So you can't say free digital marketing services when you're not offering them. And then you should never add someone to an email list without their permission. If you get flagged a lot for that, then give me 1 second to add. Okay, here we go. Okay, and then, yep, you need to add someone with their permission, because if you get flagged a lot for that with unsubscribes, then your emails are more likely to go into spam. And some general tips, when you send your first email, you can always use that email that you created as your template. And so going forward, you could basically just plug and chug information into this template, so it saves you time. And so basically, if you send this long newsletter, all you have to do the next time around is just add the different image and written content, and just make sure all your links are interchanged as well. And then secondly, resending an email. Resending an email is a powerful tool if you use it correctly. And so I would recommend resending to non-openers 2 to 4 days after the original email was sent, or right before there's a deadline. So for example, today with the webinar, I sent our email list, the webinar update, a couple of days ago, and then today I sent them a resend to all those who hadn't opened our email and said last call or reminder or something like that with the same subject line. You can actually, when you resend an email, you can edit the subject line a little bit just to show a little bit more of importance, but then I would keep the rest of the subject line the same. So I would just add a word or two. And I would also say don't resend more than 2 or 3 times, because the number one reason why people unsubscribe from email lists is because they're receiving too many emails. So you don't want to spam them and give them way too many emails to where they're no longer interested and they're more annoyed. And then lastly, just to give some email topics to end, so you have something to take away with you if you're looking to enhance your email marketing, is one thing that does make emailing your clients or your customers a little bit easier is segmenting your list by the client type. So for us at Local View, that looks like separating those who have Google Ads away from those who are just website clients. And that makes it easier. If there's a product update with websites, then we don't have to let all of our clients know, and it's not relevant to Google Ads people. And some other ways are just with holidays. It's very easy to send an email there. And if you want to, I would actually recommend sending it a couple days before, so then you're not a part of the whole group of people that are sent a Merry Christmas email. Discounts or limited time offers, of course, your email topics. And then your company news or what you're doing in the local community is always good, because a lot of people will sign up for company emails because they want to see what the business is doing. And then again, highlighting new services or products can be great for the general public. And yeah, thank you all for listening in on this webinar. At this time, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have, or talk to you more about anything you have email marketing related.